Before we will go directly to the main topic for this morning, I want you to answer my questions prepared for you. Let's proceed to the first question. What time do you usually go to school in the morning? Yes, Mr. A? 5:30? Very good, that's too early. Yes, Mr. B? 6:30? That's good, that's too early. But whatever your answers are, it is all correct. Let's proceed. Why do you have to leave your home that early? What are your reasons behind? Yes, Mr. A? For you not to be late? It's all good. What about you, Mr. B? For you to attend a cleaning program? Very good. That's actually an essence of a student in the school. Let's proceed to the next question. How about the others? What are your means of transportation in going to school? Riding a van, riding a motorbike, riding a tricycle, but whatever your answers again, that are all accepted and correct. Let's proceed. So where do you think is much safer to ride on? Is it a bus, a jeep, a motorbike, or a tricycle? Why? A tricycle? Then why? Oh, correct. Nice idea. But whatever your answers are, there is no such thing as safety on it. Because whatever mode of transportation or means of transportation that you are riding in going to school cannot assure that you are safe. Because our safetyness while we are riding any types of transportation lies to the driver. If the driver is reckless, expected that we can acquire injuries on it. We can meet any accidents in the road. But if the driver is too careful and valued you as his passenger, there is an assurance that safety is being acquired. I have here 3 photos for you to give your analysis to. I want you to make your own analysis based on that picture. I want you to make a concept why these pictures are being shown to you. What are these pictures is trying to convey to you? Yes, very good. These pictures is trying to give you an idea that in every picture there is a situation that shows an action. And in every action, there is always an expected consequence. It can either be positive or negative consequence. But mostly, in these events or in this situation, it is expected that there is always a negative consequence. And the person involved to it can acquire what? Yes, very good. They can acquire injury. It can either be minor and major injuries. Correct, that's a nice idea. So what do you think is our topic for this morning? Yes, Mr. C? Very good. Our topic for this morning is all about injury with its classifications. So there are 2 types of injuries. The first one is intentional injuries, and the second one is the unintentional injuries. But before we will go on to the main topic for this morning, I have here an objective for us to be guided on what is to be learned this morning. Let's proceed. Our objectives this morning are, first, we can define what is injury. The second one is we can differentiate intentional injuries from unintentional injuries. Then the third one is we can classify the given situation as to whether they refer to intentional or unintentional injuries. Then the next one is showcase examples of intentional and unintentional through role-playing. So it is expected that you will be having a role-playing as we go along to this discussion. Then the last objectives. Showed enthusiasm in doing the activity. So let's move forward to know further the details. What is the meaning of injury? Okay, Mr. A, can you read? It is also very good. Injury is also known physical trauma or damage to the body caused by external force. Can you cite a situation where we can acquire injury? Yes, very good biking. Yes, very good basketball. Yes, very good. Any kind of sports we can acquire injury. But how can we prevent it? Yes, very good. Nice idea. We can prevent injuries from being careful and preventive in ourselves alone at first. No? We can prevent injury if we are too careful in doing any kind of activities. So let's move. Injury may caused by accidents, falls, hits, weapons, and other causes. Major trauma is injury that has the potential to cause disability or death. Most of the motor riders can lead to death. Why? Because they are most involved in what? Major injuries. Very good. Especially those who are not fond of wearing helmets. So do you already know what is injury? Very good. So let's proceed. Let's proceed to two types of injuries. Let's start with intentional injuries. So intentional injuries are when a person brings harm to themselves or to others for a purpose. So harm is when a person intentionally brings harm to themselves. So what is the example of that? The example of that is suicidal events. Suicidal events or suicide is an intentional injury. Why? Because you intend to kill yourself because of the depression that you are feeling right now. So how can you prevent that? How can you be able to overcome stress and depression? So for you to overcome, yes, your idea? Very good. You need to share your problems to other people for you to gain advices. That's correct, Mr. A. Let's proceed to the second type of injury. Unintentional injuries. So when we say unintentional injuries, this can be defined as any injury that is not caused on purpose or without intention to harm. It is a broad category that includes injuries from causes such as motor vehicle, collisions, falls, poisoning, drowning, suffocating or suffocations, and any work-related or sports-related injuries. Yes, unintentional is a kind of injury that you have no intention to hurt or even to engage into. It means accidentally happened to you. No? Any questions so far? Any questions so far? Yes? Oh, that's a good clarifications. Again, we should always remember that when we say intentional, you have the purpose in hurting yourself. Or others. So when we say unintentional, you have no control out of it. It is just being happened accidentally and out of your decisions or control. These are examples of intentional and unintentional. The first picture shows a person punching the other person. It is because the first person there is intendedly trying to hurt the other person because of what? Maybe because of misunderstanding, maybe because of some jealousy or other reasons. Then the next picture is, he was stumbled down, maybe because of the slippery floor. And that is unintentional because it is accidentally happened. Next. So since you don't have any questions so far for clarifications, let's have some activity for you to widen or broaden your idea. So I want you to count down yourselves into 3, starting from 1, 2, and 3. So very good. This side is for group 1, this side is for group 2, and this side is for group 3. So here is what we're going to do. The group 1 will discuss and give definitions of injury. And then the group 2 will work on the classification of injury and differentiate intentional injury from unintentional injury. Then the group 3 will classify the given news headlines as to whether they are intentional or intentional injury. Let's proceed. Note, you are only given 5 minutes for you to prepare for your presentation. So, time starts now. Time is up! I guess we are all ready. Yes, thank you so much for following the instructions. So let's proceed to the presentation of Group 1. Very good! Let's give 10 claps to Group 1. Let's proceed to the next presentation, the Group 2. Wow! Very nice, Group 2. Let's give them the 5 claps. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good job. Then the last one, magpapatalo kaya ang Group 3? Ayun! Hindi sila magpapatalo. So lahat sila ay nakakuha ng 100 points. A round of applause for everybody! Yay! So since you have already understood our lesson for this morning, I want to give you another activity. It's a role play. So lately, you have discussed what is injury and classified what is injury. So now, you are going to act on it. You are going to portray what is really an injury and what are the 2 types of injury. So I want you to divide yourselves into 2. So if lately we are 3, so now 2. So each group will be given situations to act on. The group 1 will present intentional injury. You are going to portray a situation wherein you are portraying or you are acting or showing a role play of intentional injury. Then the second group will be an intentional injury. Remember or take note, you are only given before that, let's proceed to the criteria first. So the criteria for group performance will be the knowledge and concept is 60 points, the teamwork is 30 points, and the time on task, or if you finished it on time, you will be given 10 points for the total of 100 points. So note that you are only given 5 minutes to prepare for your presentation. Time starts now. Okay, guess we are all ready. Let's now proceed to the presentation of the group 1, which is very good, the intentional injury. A round of applause for everybody, please. Very good, good job, group 1. You already know or understood the main topic for this morning because you have showcased exactly what is the example of intentional injury. Let's proceed to the group number 2. Ayan, hindi na naman nagpapadahig ang group number 2. They are also showing the correct actions or situations regarding the unintentional injury. I am really happy. I am so glad that you have understood the lesson that I am discussing to you right now. Thank you so much, everyone, for your participations and cooperations. Let's proceed. So, before we will end this discussion for this morning, I want you to make an awareness campaign. Please read the instruction. List down unintentional injuries that happens inside your house and post it on social media, like Facebook, Twitter, IG, with the hashtag unintentional injuries. What's the purpose? To let the people know or awareness campaign what are the possible injuries that may happen at home. Am I clear, class? Very good. So any questions so far before we will end this lesson? Before we will end the discussion? Done so far? So that's all for today. Goodbye and thank you.